On Friday, I left work early in the afternoon and headed straight to the train station to catch the next train to London. I arrived at about peak commuting time, so rather than braving the underground, I decided to have a little walk around the area and find a place to sit down and write. You know, getting the writing part of the writing retreat started as soon as possible. This didn't go entirely to plan. I ordered a drink, got out my laptop, and was immediately told that even though the building is a co-working space, something that I had carefully googled the night before, I happened to pick the only floor in this building that is apparently a laptop-free zone. I had of course already paid for a drink at that point, so I stayed for a little bit and enjoyed the view, and then ditched the underground altogether and carried my little suitcase all the way to the apartment, ready to get a good night's sleep before the real writing retreat commences. Hello there, happy writing retreat day number 2. My entire word count from day number 1, which was yesterday, is a grand total of 0 words. But today we're determined to do better. I am currently in Green Park. I just got off the underground. It is so loud over here. Hopefully it's not too annoying. But I just got off the underground at Green Park. I should have moved further away from the road. I'm just going to be making my way over to Hyde Park. I have a picnic blanket with me and we are going to try and get some writing done today. I've just completed the first sprint of my writing retreat. We actually managed to get some words in this time. I am working through chapter 4 at the minute. I don't think I've said this, but I'm working on Project Side. I am working on the second draft of the second book in the Project Side trilogy. I will get used to saying that at some point. Also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Martha. Hi. I'm working on the 4th chapter. I started it this morning in Hyde Park. It is so nice here. I'm fairly far away from like the main touristy area. There were quite a lot of people along like where the lake bit is and all of that, but literally this area is just like runners and a couple of people walking their dogs. I had a dog come over earlier and just sort of like sniff my shoe and then go away again. Adorable. I'm having the best time. And I think I'm basically at the end of the first scene in chapter 4, which is just under 1,000 words. It is getting close to lunchtime, so I think I'm gonna see if I can find like a nice cafe in the area, and then we'll see if we can do the rest of chapter 3 and we'll go from there.
One step forward and another back. I would never try to fool ya. I'm one heartbeat away from going mad. Girl, when you're looking like that, closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby, got me hooked on you once again. Girl, I need you. How many times do I wanna yell? 'Cause we could be so completed. Baby, I'll if it want anyone new. I was on your bed when you undressed. Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath, then I knew the girl I need you. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like
So in total today I've written just over 2,000 words, so I thought it was only fair to reward myself with 2 books. I got this one, which is The Art of War, which I've been meaning to buy myself a copy of this for a while. It's a book on military strategy, but it's a Chinese classic that's the book on military strategy, presumably. If you're not familiar with Project Slide, there is a fantasy military aspect to it, and I thought this book would be good, especially later on in the trilogy, where there's quite a lot more that I'm gonna have to figure out, and it's just a little bit of research for me to be able to write that a little bit better. And then the other book I got was entirely a cover buy. Look at the like shiny golden foil on it, it's so gorgeous. And it's Treasury of Folklore, Woodlands and Forests, and there was also like a sea and river version. But I thought this would be really nice inspiration for like future projects. It has like really nice illustrations, and I'm excited to dive into this. But yeah, I realized this is probably the first time I've sat down to talk to you, other than very briefly at the park earlier. This is the first time I've had the flat to myself since I arrived, so. But I guess you're probably wanting some context at some point, because I just sort of jumped straight into, hey, let's go on a writing retreat, and here we are. This was a last minute thing. I had a family trip booked for this weekend, and for reasons I'm not going to go into at the minute on this channel, that was cancelled. And I was hesitant as to whether to still come over, because everything was paid for, we couldn't get a refund for it. And I just last minute decided, like, you know what, it's all paid for. I've got this apartment in London. I'm not the only person here. My dad's sister also decided to still come on the trip, even though the whole family aspect of it was cancelled. And she actually invited her sister, so both of them are also staying here. But they're doing their standard sort of touristy things around London, while I wanted to treat it more as a little bit of a fun writing retreat to myself. We've actually got some musical tickets for Phantom of the Opera for tonight, which some tickets are not getting used, but 3 of the tickets are, so that's something. So we'll be doing that together this evening, but other than that, I've been mostly just going around by myself. I am back a little bit early because this apartment is absolutely wonderful. We have the best view. Like, there's a little balcony, you know how much I love a balcony, and there's a little table and like chair situation, and I'd really like to go sit outside for a bit and do a little bit of writing on the balcony. I finished chapter 4 earlier at the cafe, so I am going to be starting chapter 5. It's probably a good thing that I'm starting chapter 5 back in the flat, because my phone battery was dying and I needed the internet because all of my notes are in Notion. And chapter 5 I think has a lot more changes and therefore a lot more notes than chapter 4 did. So this place has Wi-Fi, this place has plug sockets, and it's going to be a little bit easier to dive into this slightly more complicated chapter while I'm around here. I put my laptop on charge while I'm talking to you so that I have at least a little bit of boost in battery, because it was dying quite severely. And I guess until the battery lasts, we can sit on the balcony.
If you got the time, I'd like to stay a while. Do you remember what I said last time we met? Would you like to move a little closer now? I'd like to be as close to you as I can get. If I could stop the time, I sure would. In this moment, I really wish I could. Do you feel the same way as I do? That feeling of just knowing that I stop the time. I sure would. In this moment, I really wish.
Good morning, happy Sunday and happy final day of the writing retreat. I'm not sure how much writing we're actually gonna get up to today. I am absolutely, completely and utterly exhausted. Last night we went to the musical and then on the way back we actually got stuck on the underground. So like it stopped in the middle of the tunnel. We weren't like stopped at a station, it was just like middle of nowhere. Walls on all sides, and the aircon stopped working and we were stuck there with no aircon, carriage covered in people, most of them drinking, for an hour. Not a fun time. We got home a lot later than we were planning on, and of course, you know, having been stuck in a very hot sticky carriage, I got home and drank a bunch of water, so I have not slept very much. Paired with the fact that I'm not too keen on jumping right back on the underground today, I think we're gonna need a little change of plans. My original plan for today was to go to a nearby cafe in the morning, then come back here to pick up my suitcase and then go over to the British Library and do a bit of writing there, and then from the British Library go all the way back to the station and go take my train. Doing that will require me to take 2 undergrounds, as well as I just don't know if I have that much writing brain available at the minute to write at 1, maybe 2 cafes, stop for lunch and then write for multiple hours at the library. Like that seems like a lot considering how little brain power I have. So I'm thinking the other option is possibly just doing the cafe in the morning. It's walking distance, and then if I do that I can walk all the way to the station. Which is like a 40-minute walk, but it's better than being stuck in the underground for an hour, so I am kind of leaning towards that option. There are 2 cafes that I've researched in this area, so I'll probably go to my favorite one first, and then depending on how the writing is going, if I think I can do like a little bit more, I might do a second cafe if it like feels like I've been in the same place for too long and I'm not ordering anything else. So I think that's gonna be a better way of spending the day, and then since I'm just doing that, I'll then go back to the station area, maybe grab some lunch there, maybe just go straight home and have lunch at home. To be decided.
Spin me around and around, turn me upside down. Spin me around and around, let me feel. Spin me again and again, till I'm upside down. Calling again and again, my name. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Hold me, tell me I'm not dreaming. I'm not dreaming. Tell me I'm the only one. I've been lost and found. I've been on the ground. I've been hiding out while shouting out. You would open up. Oh, spin me around and around, turn me upside down. Spin me around and around, let me feel. Spin me again and again, till I'm upside down. Calling again and again, my name.
We are back home. I've been back for a couple of days now, and I've finally taken the time to just sit down, look at my stats for the weekend, add up all of the numbers in all of the different places that I've been writing, and it's about time I share them with you. So over the past 3 days, but technically I didn't write on Friday, so let's call it 2 days, I have written 3 chapters, 4,456 words, and interestingly, I wrote for a total of 3 hours and 40 minutes. Now, raise your hand if you don't think that sounds like a lot. At least not considering that I was setting aside this entire weekend, I was going into London with the intention of treating it as a writing retreat and just getting as much writing as I could in as many different locations as I could. That was the entire premise of the weekend. And of course, while I was there, I did things that weren't writing. I spent some time with my dad's girlfriend and her sister for a little bit. We went to that musical. I managed to walk for over 40,000 steps. But even considering all of that, it's less than 2 hours per day of writing time. And don't get me wrong here, I'm actually really happy with the results. 4,000 words in a weekend is more than I've gotten in a very long time, and I'm really happy with what I've written. I think the quality of the words is really good. I was really in the zone for the entire time I was writing. I was really enjoying it, and it just felt like a really fun weekend and a really fun writing experience. But I'm just surprised that that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of having had a really good writing weekend, came from 4 hours of writing. And it's strange to me because I don't need to set aside an entire weekend for writing to only write for 4 hours. Surely I can squeeze in 4 hours on a regular weekend. I don't have kids, I don't work on the weekends, I really don't have that many responsibilities. So 4 hours of writing in a weekend should be realistic. And yet I never do it. And I basically think what I've learned from this writing retreat is, first of all, that I need to prioritize writing more, because apparently I can write a lot faster than I think I can. I just need to actually sit down and do it. And I think part of the problem for me is feeling like it's not worth sitting down if I'm only going to get 15 minutes of writing in, so I don't, and then that's 15 minutes that I could have written. So I think I just need to get better at doing it in small chunks and doing it anyway, and realizing that progress is made consistently in small amounts and not by setting aside an entire weekend to write, because I don't need to set aside an entire weekend to write. And then the second thing I've learned is that I really enjoy writing outside. This is something that I feel like I relearn every year. I always forget how fun it is to write outdoors during winter. And then spring happens and I just remember all over again. So I'm hoping something that I'm going to take away from this experience, other than my 4,000 words, which I'm really proud of, is actually just realizing that I can prioritize writing more, and also prioritize writing in a way that feels fun to me. So like taking my laptop to a park and just allowing myself to romanticize that, to romanticize writing outside, and it just feels more fun to do that, and I want to do more of it. Hopefully this also means that there's gonna be a lot of outdoorsy writing vlogs coming your way soon, so if you enjoy that sort of stuff, feel free to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon.